also a transcription. Under Mass General Law, we're hosting this meeting remotely. Yeah. And it is being recorded and transcribed for anybody who might be tuning in. So, I'm going to start off and say I unfortunately did not get the chance to prepare minutes for tonight. I'll have them, both minutes for this meeting and the last meeting for our next meeting. But I didn't know to focus on our action items. I didn't know if either of you had a chance to touch base with Bill about the master plan.
Yeah, so soon after the last meeting, I was able to shoot him an email. I think I CC'd you guys, and as I had mentioned earlier, Tom, I neglected to follow up and I haven't heard back. So actually, just before this meeting called to order, I just did a quick follow-up email to Bill. So I haven't heard from him in particular about what the EDC can do to help with the master plan.
All right. Anthony?
Yes.
Did you get the, I think you were also tasked with that as well.
Yeah. No, Tony was to send the email. I had a different.
Okay, sorry. What was yours again? I had to. I forgot.
I was supposed to send the document.
Right. Okay.
Which I did. I think you did get that, correct? You guys did get that, right?
Let's see.
I'm just checking.
It was an email. I think I forwarded to everyone.
Yep. Yeah, you sent it on the 31st.
Okay. Yeah.
You sent the EDC portion of it.
Let us discuss that section while we're all here right now.
Mm-hmm.
The master plan economic development section.
Mm-hmm.
Apologize, got my action items mixed up. So, so just to kind of go over it while we're all here, I think we can break it down with the 5 goals that at the economic development, like the 5 economic development goals that the master plan is trying to accomplish. Goal 1, take a proactive and responsible approach to economic development that supports existing businesses and encourages new ones. Goal 2, ensure business development is consistent with Mendon's small town and rural character. Goal 3, grow and diversify the tax base to promote a fiscally sound future. Goal 4, ensure Mendon's infrastructure does not impede and can support desirable economic development. Goal 5, support and expand ecotourism initiatives that drive economic development centered on Mendon's natural spaces and agricultural areas. I think those 5 goals are pretty. I think those are pretty good. I think that they're in line with sort of what we've heard from the community.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, do you have any thoughts on any section we should kind of focus on, or can we just take a moment to skim through it?
No, I don't have any thoughts we should focus on, but I do think it's a good. We should refamiliarize ourselves with the information.
Okay.
Yeah, and because it does, of course, give a lot of detail in terms of how each of the areas impact the 5, the goals. So I do think we should probably on off time read through it again,
I agree.
because at the bottom of it is sort of some strategies, i.e. break down objectives based off that information. So that's once we go through that, I think it'd be good to keep focusing
Sure.
on those objectives.
Okay. That sounds good to me. One particular area of focus that I think is interesting is the Mendon's largest employers.
Hmm.
And that
Which page is this on, Tom?
this is on page
Yeah, there we
11.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting that, I mean, I expected the schools to be one of the largest employers. I expected Imperial to be one of the largest employers. It's interesting that that Southwick's has more employees than Imperial to me. And also it's interesting that there really aren't that many that Hideaway Pizza is one of the Mendon's largest employers, it just it kind
Even
of
Georgia's surf and turf is high if you
yeah,
think that, but
right,
that's
right. And that's not
seasonal,
even
right?
that's seasonal. So it kind of I think kind of puts in stark relief kind of where we are as a town, in that we don't have many like we go from 100 to 250 employees down to 10 to 19 are our largest employers on this table. Then you have Willowbrook and fourth generation nursery, and the town of Mendon Beach specifically, the lifeguards. That's one of the town's largest employers. So it just kind of shows just how little development the town has, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I also thought it was pretty interesting, Tom, in the few pages above that. Where does it start? Page 4. It's the results of the survey about what the actual citizens think about the
Right.
amount of development, what they'd like to see more or less of, and it's kind of a lot. It's pretty much in line with what I think everyone would expect. But I also think that, and I think when we've seen it in the past, when we were working with Jack on the layover district, that there's definitely a vocal minority when it comes to some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that's I guess that's one of the tricky parts of the form of government we have with open town meeting government, is it sometimes tends to over-represent people who are kind of excited or vocal about a certain topic, because they all show up to town meeting, So when there is a vocal minority, it sometimes can skew things in terms of what actually gets passed.
Yeah.
But
I know when we were putting this together, we were very cognizant of developing goals that would be able to support what the majority of the citizens would want.
right. And that's a goal here, right? Is representing the community,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and the needs and wants, and while also balancing what's sustainable for the future. So yeah, I do think those 2 points we just brought were really interesting. In terms of that, I do want to go. I do want. I think taking Anthony's idea of familiarizing with our document, having a more in-depth discussion about it next time around. And I apologize for missing the email the first time.
Oh, it's okay.
That's fine. You weren't the only one. I'll be sure to print it right after this call.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I think we should probably, and then come up with a next meeting as we look at it this in more in depth, come up with a strategy in terms of how you want to tackle the goals, right? Because if you remember, if you recall, when we went through the master plan and went through all the goals, we actually reviewed all the objectives of the goals and
Right.
or how we want to accomplish the goal. So I don't know if they're still feasible still or not, but it'd be good to have that conversation and then maybe even figure out how we want to tackle them. Keep moving.
right. I think that's a good plan. Really, like review them to see like if, and also like what if any we can do if there's anything like that's coming up, like because I think we'll have in a month we'll have a better idea of what's going to be on the town meeting warrant.
Hmm.
If anything that helps further those goals is on that, perhaps like helping to support that might be
That's
a
a
plan.
good point. Very good point. Because even I know I was just looking, I went down to the bottom and it says hire a town planner. So even putting that on the document, say you open up a town planner position.
We do have that.
Oh, so that's done.
Yep. That's something that has already been done. So
Are they dedicated to a lot of the? Do they even know about our goals?
I'm assuming so. Like that's what Jack Hunter's role is, but then there's also Dylan, who is taking on a lot of that as well. He's dedicated to not only planning but also to DPA. But two of them together, I would say, fulfill the role of a full-time town planner. And maybe after we have our discussion about that, like maybe getting their feedback on where we are on some of this might be helpful, especially considering part of it is hiring them as part of the goals. Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to chat with Jack again, see where get him back on and see where things stand and what his thoughts are. Because I mean, he was involved in this, and and I think it'd just be good to get an update from him.
Yeah,
I agree. And if not him, then Dylan.
Yeah, it'd be good to meet him.
yeah, too.
Yeah. So yeah, let's plan to look through this more thoroughly and discuss the objectives piece of it specifically after refamiliarizing us with the document on our next meeting.
Okay.
Which is March 27th. But I just want to take a moment to talk about my piece of the action plan or action items, which was the open for business breakfast. I did get the chance to talk to Jeannie Hebert from the Chamber of Commerce. And Jeannie, for her part, said that since COVID, they did lose the grant that allowed for a lot of these open for business breakfast to happen. And it hasn't been reauthorized since. But she thinks like part of the reason is because no communities have had them. But she thinks that she does have some money from the chamber to start one up again with a specific focus. And that Mendon, like having one might be a good impetus to like get that grant back. So she asked me to send her a list of the of Mendon businesses, which I did do. I'm just waiting to hear back from her on whether or not it's feasible, what time what the time frame would be on having one of these and like what the specific focus would be, because it needs to be specifically focused in order for her to get the grant money to do so.
Okay. No, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
And she said one major thing they're focusing on is workforce development. And so like that might be an area that you could pull some like and
Did she say specifically what she means by workforce development? I mean,
um
kind of
I
a
mean
vague
she's
term. So I
talking
don't know
like
if she's-
talking more like in terms of like the chamber does a lot with the schools in terms of like getting people into jobs in the workforce, and then looking at like some of the things on here. Hold on, I'm pulling back up.
So you're talking like they go to the schools and do job fairs and stuff like that?
No, I mean like they hold on. Like when you're looking at some of the stuff like well, it's not just job fairs, it's like actual like teaching them skills like Blackstone Valley Tech would,
Okay.
like trades and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
In terms of like someplace like automotive and stuff like that, that might be useful. And like Sudbury Granite, the paint places.
So like setting up internships and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, she probably has a better grasp on what exactly they have to offer, what exactly they would be able to get state money for. But that's
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I'd love to try and get that going again. I was never
Yeah.
able to attend one, but it sounds like they're always well attended.
They are always pretty well attended. Another thing that's interesting though, I thought was how I'm just like looking at this document again, like that we have one of the higher tax rates in the valley.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think for residential, but the commercial was on the lower end, I think.
Well, yeah, because we're one of the only ones that most of the towns have a split tax rate, or don't
Yeah.
have a split tax rate rather. So like Hopedale and Blackstone are the only ones that do. But I don't know. I mean, Uxbridge is lower than us. Millville, Northbridge.
I mean, Uxbridge, I could see it. I mean, they've got more commerce there, so it makes sense for them to try and get a bit more out of that. But I mean, if we were to go the other way around, we might lose
Well,
some
no,
tax money.
Uxbridge actually, Uxbridge has a single tax rate.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
the only
don't
ones that don't are Hopedale and Blackstone. And Hopedale has a higher residential tax rate than us, just to be clear. And I find that particularly interesting because I'm the tax collector in Hopedale, my day job. But yeah, I guess I've never seen it put in that stark and
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I've
was
never
actually
seen it
looking.
put out on a chart like that before.
Well, it just means when they come for you with pitchforks, you know why.
Yeah, I'll just be like, wait, I saw the chart. But no, I actually Mendon does technically have a split tax rate now, but it's only because of the that's the way we had to implement the means adjusted or means tested elderly tax rate.
Yeah, I don't know if this really accounts for that. I mean, do other towns have that?
No, we're the first in the area I know of. The only comparable thing in Hopedale, they have, like, every town tends to have some sort of like exemption on a portion of the property taxes
Mm-hmm.
for age. And Hopedale actually at town meeting every year votes in a COLA to the exemption,
Okay.
which is another unique way, like, thing I've never seen anyone do. But I think Mendon's one of the first in the area to do this. So that's interesting. But yeah. So I will touch base with Jeannie Hebert this week, see if she has any more information on the meeting, the breakfast. I think for our part, we can look over this form or this document for next time and have a more pointed discussion about the objectives.
Yeah.
Does that sound good to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have any other things that we need to discuss tonight?
No.
No.
Okay. All right, then March 27th at 7:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
That can still work for me.
Okay, I will put that in my calendar then, and we will look forward to meeting then.
All right.
Do you have
Motion.
a motion to adjourn?
A motion.
Second.
All right, thank you very much. You guys have a great night.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
too. Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys.
And, yeah, and
Bye.
just so we're ending at 7:58 p.m. All right, thank you.